Thanks for joining me today. I'm Daryl Ponton. Today I got my F150. I got to try to change the U-joints on it. I put a couple pans up here by the front by the transmission. When we pull that drive shaft out, it might leak a little bit of fluid. So this way it don't leak all over the ground. Come back here by the back axle. You're going to have 4 bolts you got to take loose. And they're 12 point. You're not going to be able to use 6 point. I put a little penetrating oil on them to let that soak in so I could break them loose a little easier. Now I just got to take them out. This happens 12 millimeter happens to fit on it. I don't know why, because it's an older truck, but we tried the 1/2 inch. It's way too sloppy. So we're going to use what works. I got them all broke loose. Now I got to take them out by hand. I don't have a 12 point socket. So I'm going to have to do this the old fashioned way by hand. Now we had this old truck about 3 or 4 years. It's been pretty good to us. Every once in a while you gotta do a little maintenance on it. You know, that's to be expected. I only had about 50,000 miles on it. We got a pretty good price. We paid around $1,000 for it. Had to put a little bit of work into it. We like to use it for a little bit of scrapping and carrying stuff around from job to job. It helps out. Now you're gonna need a vise at this part. By the time you get the shaft out, you're gonna want to try to get these little clips out. You can use needle nose pliers if you have them. I didn't happen to have them, so I used whatever I had available. And this screwdriver will help knock that clip out of there. You can get that little end to bend a little bit. It comes out a lot easier. Now, I always like to try to clean these up and get in that groove there. There's old grease and rust that gets in there. You want to make sure you get that nice and cleaned up so that clip sets back in there all the way. You don't want one of them popping out on you. Now it's going to be a little tricky at this part. You don't want the end cap to fall off. Them little needle bearings will go everywhere and it'll be a big mess. Once you get that one clip in and just flip it over and put that cap in there, you have to pick it up a little bit to get that cap to go in there, because sometimes they don't go in straight. But if you put a little WD-40 on there or some kind of lubricant, now I'm just setting these in a little bit to make sure that they don't come out. Like I was saying earlier, if you don't get them set in all the way, they could come out and you're going to have a big mess on your hands. I'm going to flip it around here and check this other side. It didn't seem to be too bad, so I decided not to change it. Now you're going to want to put a little oil or grease on the end of the shaft before you put it in there so you don't tear the seal. And then you line these bolts back up and tighten them up. Use the impact if you have it. I didn't happen to have a 12 point socket that day, so I had to use a wrench. Just put a little grease on it and we're done.